Let's go over an update for the future of the Star Wars franchise. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, the future of this franchise seems to be very expansive. Now, a couple of days ago, we heard about the big story by Collider that the standalone films were being put on hold. It led a lot of people to believe that either the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie or the Boba Fett film were being indefinitely, postponed and just, canceled, etc. However, all thanks to the Hollywood Reporter in their report and Clayton Sandel, who was a part of ABC, they clarified a lot of different things up involving the whole standalone films, the A Star Wars story format for the Star Wars franchise. So, looking at everything that has been happening here, in case you guys want to go ahead and check out those stories, they will be linked below in the description. But in a recent tweet by the Hollywood Reporter, we actually learned a little bit about Kathleen Kennedy's involvement in, of course, the Star Wars franchise as head of Lucasfilm and what she's doing right now. Now, this tweet from the Hollywood Reporter states this: Lucasfilm's president Kathleen Kennedy and her team are regrouping and figuring out the direction of the movies beyond the final installment of the main series of films, hashtag Star Wars Episode 9, which is scheduled for release December 20th of 2019. So, all of these different departments working within Lucasfilm on other projects are now all regrouping to really figure out the exact direction of where to go after Episode 9. Now, there's been a lot of back and forth with this story on the standalone films. Are they canceled? Are they not canceled? Are they just postponed or delayed? Are they still happening? We still don't have a concrete answer after all of these different stories by Collider, Clayton Sandel, the Hollywood Reporter, etc. But that's what the Hollywood Reporter tweeted, and to me, guys, the Hollywood Reporter, they're one of the greatest sites for movie news, as is Deadline, Variety, etc. So, that's what they had to say. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy and her team are regrouping and figuring out the direction of the movies beyond the final installment of the main series of films. So, the fact that they're regrouping and they're exchanging all these different departments within Lucasfilm to really figure out the exact roadmap and release dates for these new movies to come after the Skywalker saga, right? Episode 9. That's going to be the last movie in the trilogy format of Star Wars films, at least for now. Now, the thing is, we wouldn't necessarily have this situation, in my opinion, if it weren't for Kathleen Kennedy, because she is the one that fired the original directors, Lord and Miller, at last minute. Just before they were about done filming, she decided to let them go and hire Ron Howard as director. And he had to reshoot 80% of the movie, and that cost hundreds of millions of dollars. They really didn't market the movie too well. It was rather late, and I'm sure that played a role to some degree of the box office results. However, like I say many times, I think a big part of it was the Last Jedi backlash and the Solo: A Star Wars Story boycott is what really hurt both Disney and Lucasfilm when it comes to how much money they made on that movie. Again, it made nowhere near close to Rogue One, The Last Jedi, and The Force Awakens when it comes to its global box office. It really didn't do too well. So Disney lost quite a bit of money on Solo: A Star Wars Story, and this is the whole reason as to why they are rethinking their strategy, as the Hollywood Reporter points out in their big article that we went over recently, is that Lucasfilm, they're essentially not slowing things down per se, according to them, but they are licking their wounds. So they did get a little hurt by the box office results from Solo. Now, looking at things with Kathleen Kennedy, I wonder if you guys agree or disagree with me on that I just talked about there, how I really do feel that Kennedy stems from all of the things that are happening right now. If it weren't for her decision on hiring Lord and Miller at first sight, and if she had just, focused on, a veteran director, a director with talent right from the get-go, I think that they not only would have saved a whole lot of money, but even if the box office didn't do too well in that movie, they wouldn't have lost a lot of money. The main reason as to why they lost money on this film is because they spent so much money. There was a lot of budget on this film. They had to do reshoots, marketing, etc. Tons of different things that always costs a lot of money. They even had to, like any movie, share some of that money with the movie theaters. They get a cut out of it as well. I've been hearing it could be as much as 40%, maybe even more. I'm not quite sure how valid that is. But let me know what you think about Kathleen Kennedy and her plan by regrouping the, departments within Lucasfilm and essentially figuring out the direction, the roadmap, essentially, of the Star Wars franchise after Episode 9. Now, it seems like we're back to square one again. We really don't know what's going on with the Kenobi movie or the Boba Fett film. What's really coming out in Star Wars 2020 at this point, you may ask? We have no clue. Everything is clouded right now. And as far as the Boba Fett film goes, they're saying, according to The Hollywood Reporter, that could very well be more likely to be, essentially, put on the back burner than the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, because apparently to them, Boba Fett is a less known character than Han Solo, and it may very well be harder to sell. So I think if they are to go on with the Boba Fett movie standalone by James Mangold, they should just lower the budget, not spend a whole lot of money on it, and just make sure you got the right director and writer, which James Mangold, he's a great guy, so that's a great decision. And I think they'll be fine. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.